From the Bob Mills Weather Center, meteorologist Stephen Nehrenz.
Very important. That's why you hear us preach it over and over and over again through the summer months. And really, we could preach it almost any time of year, not just when it's hot, because it's the sun angle. It's not, the temperature, of course. Sun angle still very, very high. Still a very high UV index this afternoon. Should be no surprise at this point. That's a sunburn as little as 15 minutes, especially if you have a fair skin. But anyone can pick up a sunburn on a day like today. So put that sunscreen on early and often. Of course, the heat wave, temperature-wise, the temperature part of this has obviously been building the past several days. These are the last 7 days high temperatures. Normal for this time of year is when we're kind of peaking out. Normal's about 95, and we've been running above that, of course, going back to early last week. Technically, at the Tulsa International Airport, we held at about 99 on Thursday and Friday. That's kept us from having a consecutive triple-digit streak, but I mean, that tells the story pretty succinctly, doesn't it? And unfortunately, it gets worse before it gets better from a heat standpoint. Here's a look from Jinx right now. We've had some high clouds rolling through, and I mentioned earlier, we actually started off kind of overcast this morning. More sunshine has broken through, and it's not really going to slow the temperatures down that much. 92, heat index of 97. There's a steady breeze, thank goodness, but dew point values, if anything, especially from Tulsa to the west, the dew points and the humidity is actually a little higher than yesterday, which is still going to push those heat index values into a very uncomfortable range. You can notice the difference, though. East of Tulsa, the area is a little drier, and that's partially because of an outflow boundary that pushed through some storms that were in Arkansas last night. So that's why heat index values around Salsa, Tahlequah Grove are not quite as nasty as they are further to the west. But Tulsa, we're already pushing 100. Okmulgee, Eufaula, Pawnee, already over 100 on the heat index. I headed back into that heat advisory range. Once again, far eastern counties, you may hold just under that advisory criteria, but it's going to be hot and humid either way this afternoon. I think you know the drill by now. Here's the hour-by-hour temperature forecast in the Tulsa Metro. Still expecting us to get back over 100 today. I've brought it down, quote, down, to about 101 based on the trend we're going right now, but it's still going to be a very hot one, and we're still in the low 90s at 10 o'clock tonight. So that's the other part of this, that we just don't cool down in the nighttime hours. It just kind of exacerbates the issues as the heat wave continues. There's that thicker cloud cover we had this morning fading away. We'll have more of these high clouds kind of thicken up as the day goes along. Again, just not slowing down the temperatures all that much. So I think there will be some spots holding in the upper 90s around Tahlequah and Grove today, but making a run at 100 most everywhere else and about 101 to 102 here in the Tulsa Metro. Tomorrow morning, once again, storms look to stay well to our north and east, with the upper level ridge dominating things, pushing those storms off into Missouri. So it's going to be a warm start, and highs tomorrow, no shocker here, back above 100. We're going to start to try and pick up more of a southwesterly wind Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and that can often promote those temperatures going even a little bit higher. Now, having said all of that, we're still nowhere near record highs today, tomorrow, and Wednesday. The record high for the next 3 days is 112. By the way, all of those were set back in 2012. I know a lot of folks that have lived around here remember that, so at least we're not replicating that. So the heat dome, that upper level ridge, continues to dominate things this week. And again, this is what it's supposed to do. This is what it usually does as we head into the first part of August. Here's where the changes are hoping to come. By the end of the week into the weekend, that heat dome tries to shift back to the west. That opens the door for a little bit more of kind of northwesterly upper level flow, which would bring in some scattered storm chances and would allow the temperatures to relax. Now, again, we're not promising a gigantic cool down or anything of the sort, but as that heat dome starts to weaken, the ridge weakens, that will start to bring temperatures down to a slightly more manageable level over the weekend. So until then, stay cool, because we got more triple digits on the way. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday should be kind of the peak of this current heat wave. Friday, though, is still going to be very hot as well. Over the weekend, again, it may be Saturday, maybe more towards Sunday when we really see those temperatures drop just, a little bit more with some scattered shower and storm chances. At the very least, we've got a couple days with double-digit readings instead of triple-digit readings